Hello and welcome to the Practice Marketing Podcast, highlighting successful strategies from North America's fastest growing clinics and experts so you can learn from their wins and power your practice growth. Hi, I'm your host, Neil Trickett, CEO of Practice Promotions, and today let's focus on 4 marketing ideas to make your PT clinic feel more human in the age of AI. As you know, AI is everywhere right now, and honestly, it's making a lot of marketing feel cold, generic, and forgettable. But here's the thing, that's actually a massive opportunity for your PT clinic. See, patients are being bombarded with AI-generated content, chatbots, and automated everything, and they're hungry for something real, something human. And physical therapy is one of those most human businesses that exists, that you are literally putting your hands on people during some of the hardest moments of their lives. And yet, most PT clinics market themselves like a faceless corporation. Stock photos, generic messaging, and a website that could belong to any clinic in the country because honestly, they don't put that much effort into it. The practices that will win in the next 5 years aren't just the ones who show up on Google, they're the ones who show up as real, trustworthy, relatable humans. Today, we're going to cover 4 simple but powerful marketing ideas that help your clinic feel human and why that's your biggest competitive advantage right now and in the future. So here's idea 1. It's about staff spotlights. Let people meet their PT before they walk in the clinic. And the big idea on this is that people don't just choose a clinic, they choose a person. And a patient who feels like they already know their therapist before the first visit is far more likely to book, show up, stay, and not drop off the schedule. In the age of AI, a real human face with a real story is worth more than any ad you could possibly run. Staff spotlights build trust before the first appointment, and they work across every marketing channel. So here's where and how you can do it. First off, definitely on your website. Go beyond a headshot and a list of certifications nobody connects with on a credential list. You got to write bios in that first person and conversational language, like, I became a PT because I tore my ACL in college and experienced firsthand how transformative great rehab can be. And then include personal details that make them human, like their favorite sport, why they love being a PT, what they do on weekends, and a short video intro for each therapist, even 60 seconds recorded on an iPhone, is fantastic. Then you can go beyond on social media. Maybe do a weekly or monthly, meet the team post featuring one staff member each week or each month. Ask them fun questions beyond their clinical background, like what's the most rewarding patient moment you've had? Or maybe what song is always on in your treatment room? Something very human like that. Share the day-to-day and the day in the life reel or short video following that therapist throughout their day. A lot of people don't know what PTs do, so this is a way to really show them that this is a great human experience. And these posts consistently outperform promotional content because they feel real. So the other part is not just social media or your website, but also your newsletter. This is where you can feature a staff spotlight going out each month in your emails and your direct mail newsletter, all those great things, keeping in touch with your patient list. You want to include a photo, a short Q&A, and a fun fact. Let the therapist speak in their own voice. Don't over-edit it. You see, the bottom line is that patients are trusting you with their bodies and their recovery. And the more they feel like they know your team before they arrive, the easier it is to build trust. And in a world full of AI-generated content, a real person's story is magnetic. Now here's the second idea. Patient win spotlights. So show the transformation, not just the service. And here's the big idea. Your best marketing isn't anything you write about yourself. It's the stories of real patients who got their lives back because of your clinic. So that patient win content is the PT equivalent of a before and after. And it works because it answers the question every prospective patient is quietly asking, which is, can you actually help someone like me? And this content builds credibility, authority, it creates emotional connection, and it works hard across every channel. So here's where and how you can do it. First off, on your website, You need to create a dedicated patient stories or success stories page, not just a generic testimonials page with one-liners. Feature full mini case studies, what brought them in, what the recovery looked like, and where they are today. Use milestone language with patients that they can relate to, such as, hey, Maria came to us 6 weeks after hip replacement surgery, and by week 10, she was back on the golf course, or something like that. Include a photo if the patient is willing, and because that real face next to a real story is far more powerful than text alone. Then on social media, this is perfect. You can share short form patient win posts, a photo, ideally a video, a brief story, and a meaningful quote from the patient. Celebrate milestones publicly, of course, with permission from the patient, but first run like post ACL surgeries, return to the soccer field, my first hike after a knee replacement, all kinds of wins and after therapy testimonials you can do. And then video testimonies are really gold. Even an informal phone recorded video of a patient sharing their experience performs incredibly well, especially on social media. And then you want to create a branded series like, Win of the Week or Back in the Game. Consistent naming builds brand recognition over time. And of course, you want to use this in your newsletter, so you want to make patient wins the centerpiece of your monthly newsletter, not just an afterthought. Write it like a short story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. The injury, the journey, and the outcome. You always want to end with that natural call to action for your clinic, which is, hey, do you know someone who could use a win like this? Go ahead and send them our way.
The top 10% of PT owners aren't just surviving, they're thriving. But what's their secret? Well, Neil Trickett's new Market to Grow book reveals how the top 10% of PT practices leverage marketing systems to simultaneously grow their new patients, attract top talent, and boost profit in their practice. You can learn from their secrets. Visit practicepromotions.net/book to claim your free copy of Market to Grow. Yes, you heard that right. We are shipping a free copy of Market to Grow to all podcast listeners who want it. Just visit practicepromotions.net/book to claim your free book. And now back to the show.
Well, here's a quick note on getting patient stories. You got to make it easy. You got to have a simple one-page release form ready to go in your clinic at a moment's notice. You got to ask at that right moment of discharge when the excitement is highest. And sometimes it's not just at discharge. It's actually that pivotal moment when someone had a big breakthrough in their recovery. And that might be after visit 4. So that's the time to ask for it. Or maybe it is at discharge, but you have to gauge that. And you want to offer to write the story for them based off of a quick conversation. Make it easy. Most patients are happy to share. They just don't know where to start or how to go through it. And the bottom line is that outcomes are your product. So show them. And in the age of AI, authentic human transformation stories are impossible to fake, and patients know the difference. Now, here's a third idea for you, which is behind the scenes content. Show what happens inside of your clinic. So here's the big idea about that. Most people have no idea what actually happens inside of a PT clinic, and that mystery creates hesitation on reaching out for your services. So using behind the scenes content pulls back the curtain, demystifies the process, and makes your clinic feel approachable before a patient ever walks through the door or even reaches out to your clinic. It also gives your team personality and makes your brand feel alive, something no AI can manufacture. So here's where and how you could do this. First off, on social media, you want to share short videos of treatment techniques and action. Maybe that's dry needling, manual therapy, gait retraining, return to sports drills, all kinds of stuff. Then you want to post a day in the life content. The morning huddle, a busy afternoon treatment floor, a therapist celebrating with a patient on a milestone, all kinds of great stuff that you can share there. And then, of course, celebrate clinic culture moments. A team lunch, a staff birthday, a charity event your team participated in. This is great for attracting top talent to come work for you. Show what it's like to work in your clinic also. And then go live occasionally. A quick 5-minute Facebook or Instagram live from inside the clinic does more for trust than just a polished ad. And then, of course, on your website, you want to add a short clinic tour video to your homepage or about page. Let patients see the space, the equipment, the energy before they arrive. Then you can feature a what to expect at your first visit page with real photos of your clinic, definitely not stock imagery. You can show your equipment, your treatment rooms, and most importantly, your people in action. And then, of course, in your newsletter, getting those past patients back in, you want to add a what's new at the clinic section each month, a new piece of equipment, a new service you're offering, a continuing education course a therapist just completed and taught the rest of the clinicians. There's all kinds of stuff that you can share. You want to share that a behind the treatment explainer. So like this month, we're spotlighting dry needling, and here's what it is and who it helps and what to expect. There's all kinds of things you can do there. These small touches remind patients that your clinic is dynamic, growing, and invested in their care. And the bottom line is that familiarity builds trust. And when a patient has already seen your clinic, met your team, watched your therapist work, even just through their phone screen, walking through your door feels a lot less scary and approachable. And that's a competitive advantage you can start building today at no cost. It really doesn't take much to do that. All right, so here's a fourth idea, and that's a monthly digital newsletter, your most underrated marketing tool. And here's the big idea about this. Everyone talks about social media and Google Ads, but the monthly email newsletter and direct mail newsletter might be the most underused and undervalued marketing tool in most PT clinics. And here's why. Social media algorithms decide who sees your content. Your email list is yours, and actually one of the most valuable things in your clinic. And those are real people who raised their hand and said, I want to hear from you. I had a great experience at your clinic, and I want to stay connected with you. And so a well-crafted monthly newsletter keeps your clinic top of mind. It also drives patient referrals, re-engagements from past patients, and reinforces everything that makes your clinic human all in one place. Now, it's important to send this out both email and also direct mail because direct mail actually works better now than ever before. And in a world where inboxes are increasingly filled with AI-generated blasts, a newsletter that feels genuinely personal stands out more than ever. So here's what to put in that newsletter. Definitely the patient win of the month, your centerpiece story. Then staff spotlights. Remember to spotlight one team member and in their own words. And then a helpful tip or educational piece, something maybe seasonally relevant, like 3 ways to protect your knees this ski season, or what to do if your back flares up after yard work. And then, of course, you can have that behind the scenes update, like what's new at the clinic, a new service, a team milestone. And of course, a simple call to action. You know someone who's been putting off PT, forward this email or give them this newsletter. And we have a few openings this month. Here's how to get started. The goal is to get people to come back in from your newsletter. And of course, how to make it feel human and not like a marketing blast is what we need to focus on, which is write it like you're talking to a friend, not sending a press release out. Use a real person's name in the from field and not, for example, like PPT physical therapy. Try Dr. Sarah at PPT physical therapy. Of course, keep it conversational, warm, and relatively brief. Patients will read if it feels like a quick, valuable check-in. Of course, include real photos from inside your clinic that month, not stock images. We see the clinics that spend the effort to take videography and photography within the clinic, even with an iPhone, do way better than clinics that don't. So the thing with your newsletter is don't just send it to just current patients. You need to build your list with all those past patients that you've seen. Turn them into your marketing army. You could even add certain physician contacts, community members, and if you have an opted-in list to your website, you build your list. Send these people your newsletter. Make it informative. They're going to want to receive it from you. And so the bottom line is that social media is rented land. Your email list is your property you own. Now, a monthly newsletter that's warm, story-driven, and genuinely helpful is one of the best ways to stay connected to your community and to make sure that when someone needs PT, your clinic is the first name that comes to mind. All right, so to recap our 4 ideas, we have staff spotlights, which is to let patients meet your team before they arrive. Then we have patient win spotlights, which is to show that patient transformation, not just the service. Then we have behind the scenes content, which is make your clinic feel familiar and approachable. And fourth, a monthly digital newsletter, which is your most underrated marketing tool. And here's the big picture. Here's what all four of these ideas have in common. They're things AI cannot replicate. AI can write a blog post, and AI can run an ad, but AI cannot tell the story of the patient who cried in your clinic when she took her first pain-free steps after a knee replacement. AI cannot capture the culture of a team that genuinely loves what they do. That's yours, so own it. The practices that thrive in the next decade won't just be the ones with the best SEO or the biggest ad budget. They'll be the ones that feel the most human. And the good news is you already are human. You just have to let people see it. It's that simple. So here's your call to action. Pick one of these four ideas and commit to starting it this month. I want to thank you for joining me on the Practice Marketing Podcast. So don't forget to like and subscribe our podcast, as well as these episodes on YouTube channel at Practice Promotions Physical Therapy Marketing. And don't forget, check out our practicepromotions.net website for tons of free marketing tips, strategies, and you can also request our free PT marketing kit and our Market to Grow book, which we ship to your practice for free. So take advantage of that. So this is Neil Trickett from the Practice Marketing Podcast, wishing you much success in your practice.
A free way for you to support our show is by leaving a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It's a chance for you to tell us what you love about the show, and it helps others discover it as well. Just scroll down to ratings and review on your phone and click write a review. Thanks.